pretty simple, right? Dig a hole and put it in the ground, right? See, farmers would answer like that. Most people say yes. And what I want to do is just point out a few extra things that really, really will help the tree. So the first thing you're going to do is, if you're in a situation like this that has grass, you want to scrape the grass off. A lot of people just start digging the hole, and you guys remember the O horizon actually has the best soil. So we want to keep that around, and we'll use that later. So you notice I'm just kind of stacking the grass. And then the obvious question, how big and how wide does the hole need to be? Okay? So if you have a tree in a container, this is a tiny little 1 gallon whip, you always want to make the hole at least twice as wide as the container. We're going to do it even more here. That way there won't be any competition from grass growing.
There's always rocks. There's always that one rock in the wrong place.
Now I'm going to start the outline of the hole. I'm not going to pull it out. The reason I do it this way is I'm going to actually crush all the dirt in place to break it up. That way, when we actually backfill, it's already clean, and we're just kind of saving a step. So, method to the madness. How you guys doing?
Inspired.
Tired over here, man. How do you choose what spot to plant it in? Like shady, sunny?
So it's kind of like dating and matchmaking.
Okay.
You need to know what the tree wants, and you need to know about your land and your spot. So generally speaking, more sun, more fun, more fruit. But there are shade tolerant species, and you could, you know, I think about it like leave your best real estate for those things that require full sun, and then along the edges you can use those native, maybe nut trees that require, or that are shade tolerant. All right, so now I'm gonna start to pull the dirt out. Now you're wondering, how deep does it need to be? So at least twice as wide, but then if you start to examine the tree, you'll see the first root is actually coming out here. This obviously needs to be underground, folks. So I'm thinking the hole should be about like this. One of the things you're gonna notice is that I'm digging a bowl and not a hole. Y'all, why would we dig something that would look in exactly like the same shape of this that it's been in its whole life? We need to give a reason for the roots to grow. So I'm gonna dig a bowl.
You do everything the same if the tree is bare root?
So if it was bare root, it would be a little different. Or some of you guys might actually have bare root. And I'll show you the difference. All right. So once you got the hole deep enough, and I didn't have to do much here, very important, y'all. Folks don't usually do this, but we are. We're going to score the sides of the hole, especially folks in the Piedmont that have this really tough clay. By doing something like this, again, we're giving the space for the roots to grow and encourage them to go somewhere.
So excellent. I'm sure they just dug a hole and pop that bad boy in there.
Now we can see what we're talking about.
And I had done everything except for scoring.
So depending on what
And
you
Charles,
have,
when he came, he was
whether it's
like,
in a
I was like,
container,
oh, yeah,
it's possible the roots would be very round, bound around the container. If you want to loosen it up, not necessarily break it off, but see this that I just freed up right here? Free Willy. And I can see where the roots are coming out. So I'm being gentle, but also forceful when I need to pull them out. You can use your shovel to give you an idea if you're getting the height right. So this is the plane of the ground, and you can see I probably need to go a little deeper. We have a little saying in our business, planter high, never die. So if you had to err on any side, it's better to have the tree be slightly elevated. If you find yourself that you're super strong and you pull out too much soil and you're in the situation where you have to put it back in, very important, y'all, compact the soil. If you put loose soil back in, what's going to happen over time?
It's sinking.
That's right. So if you come back and actually compact it, make a little seat, the tree won't go any further. All right? We're going to make sure it's straight. Yeah.
It looks good.
I'm going to fill it back in.
So you don't like using any type of soil amendments in the hole?
Great question. So, we all think that would be a good idea, right? However, what I think about is if we put a bunch of amendment and compost in the hole, the tree is gonna love it there. And then as soon as it hits this red clay, it's gonna be like hitting a brick wall, like literally, and it could stunt the tree. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna deliver the nutrients like Mother Nature does, from the top down. And so we have pretty nice aged wood chips here. And the other thing I'm gonna do is, remember all that grass that we scraped?
Mm-hmm. You
We're
put it
gonna that
upside
back
down.
in the hole. You can already see it is a little darker, right? So we're gonna put it upside down, that way it'll decompose. We retain that good soil. My favorite part, no mess to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Everything gets used, we know that very well. Depending on how much dirt you have left over, it actually helps to make a little bit of a donut to hold water. So I'll put a little bit more on the downhill side, just so it has a higher elevation. And you guys ever wear a wet sock around your neck? Not very comfortable. And the tree doesn't like it either. So these wood chips are really good to retain moisture. That's why we're putting it here. But it can't be touching the tree because it will cause rot and decay. And then these aren't just any wood chips. I mean, this is a pile that I personally know was sitting for like 3 or 4 years. So it's really good, and I've seen worms in it all the time. So this is pretty much the standard to start with. As the tree grows, I would definitely recommend expanding the width of the mulch. Definitely want to have like good 6 inches just to really hold it. And come summer, we want it to be like a big, big sponge. Did you guys have any questions about anything? But see all the intentionality that we put into it? You guys know how to do it now.
So what about staking the tree to just keep it standing up in the first year or so? Do you normally do that, or would you recommend?
I don't. If something like so small, perhaps, just don't leave it on for very long.
Okay.
Probably about 1 growing season would probably be enough. And then I definitely recommend, yearly pruning. In fact, the first time you prune the tree should be the day that you plant it.
I was just going to ask you
Trees
that.
Don't really do a lot of pruning, and we also want to maintain this central leader, so we'll just let this tree start to get some height to it. The other things you definitely want to control height. No one wants to be picking figs on a ladder all crazy, right? Yeah. So I could talk to you guys later about that. But yeah, just wanted to give you additional knowledge and empowerment to do this. Hopefully the trees will live, 5, 6, 7 decades.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks.